In this video, I'm going to show you how to georeference the subdivision plat. Of course, you can georeference any survey you like. Georeference a picture of your cat if you'd like to spread your cat out over North America on your map. Anyway, let's take a look at this plat here and see how we are going to approach this project. So first of all, reading in the description, we can tell which section this plat is located. Township 3 North, Range 5 West, Section 10. So before we do anything else, let's go and take a look in ArcPro and just orient ourselves. On the map on the right, I've pulled in the public land survey system, and you can tell that we have townships shown in red, sections shown in blue, and then once we zoom in, we can also see the quarters, which are shown in orange. To make it easier, I pulled up the map and the plat side by side. So for starters, let's find Township 3 North and Range 5 West, which is right over here. When we zoom in, we can see the labels for the sections. And so let's go ahead and go to section 10 and then further orient ourselves. So looking at the plat, we can see that this point over here is the northwest corner of section 10. So that corresponds to this corner over here. Then we go a certain distance direction to our point of beginning. Now note that this is not drawn to scale. I mean, they just left a gap in the map here. And then from here, we need to find some points that we can use later on to match the subdivision, specifically a point on the subdivision, with the point on the map. So it seems that starting at this corner here is a good goal. And we need to do some line drawings to start with. To move over here, just to draw a line, find the point of beginning, and then go some of the highlights. And so I did go ahead and started putting that in. So starting in the corner, I moved to the point of beginning, and then I just moved over and go some different points. So first of all, we need to bring this plat into our map. And we do this by simply clicking on it in your Windows Explorer and then moving it into your plat. So you get the warning that the map data source is missing a coordinate system. And no kidding, because it is just a scanned image, it doesn't have a coordinate system with it. So this is to be expected. As a matter of fact, georeferencing is the process of assigning a coordinate system to this plat. All right, so the next step is to go to imagery, and then we'll click on georeference and click fit to display. So now you can see that the plat sort of lines up with your map. It makes it easier to start matching those points. Since we have the plat in our view, I switched over to a full screen of my ArcPro. Okay, so after clicking on imagery and georeference, we can start adding control points. So let's go ahead and add our first control point. You start by clicking on a point on the scanned plat, and then you basically tell it, okay, this point should really be here on the map. As you can tell that I drew in those boundaries right here, which corresponds to those two boundaries right here. So this point on the plat corresponds to this point. This corner corresponds to this corner. You can see it's really starting to tighten up. And now let's do some work on the other side. This corner corresponds to this corner. And this corner corresponds to this corner over here. Okay, now this corner here corresponds to this corner. And as you can tell, it doesn't really snap or line up the way it used to before. And I can see that that is because this point over here, I matched it, this point, to the end of this line, when really this point should have been matched to the end of the line. So how do we fix that? All right, click on your control point table. And this is going to tell you a couple of different things. So for example, highlighting this point, you can see this area right here. You can see there's the tension there, has quite a larger residual. So basically it's telling you it needs to stretch and kind of fight with it a little bit more to make it fit than the other ones. And since this one is incorrect, I'm going to go ahead and delete the selected point. All right, so all the numbers really just came down. And let me just put in the correct one. So I'm going to go back to add a control point. So this is my from point on the plat. Really should be this point right here. And you can still tell there's some more tension in this plat. But overall, it is looking a lot better. Okay, so once this is done, we can go ahead and save it. So click on Save as New. I'll call this Jackson's, and I'll hit Save. And then Export. So let's fix the colors a little bit, because this is hard to look at. Just take off the ones that we've been working on. And then let's just take a look at the symbology. And so there's a couple of ways that we can do this. So first of all, the line stuff that we want to see is here in gray. So I'm going to turn that to black. The background, I can choose to make it no color, which makes it a lot easier to see through. Our georeferencing project is done. Thank you for watching this video.